Well, finally, it's been a long time, this one, with the cylinder heads and barrels being away for blasting and also to get the barrels painted. They went off, I think, just before Christmas. But anyway, I got them back recently and I've been able to carry on the rebuild of this BSA A65 engine, which allegedly comes from a Spitfire, although it seems to be a bit of a mixture of bits and pieces. It's had new high performance conrods, big end shells, main bearings, and the crank sludge trap's been checked and cleaned. Everything's there's no stone unturned on this one, and I fitted the cylinder head today. I also had a little bit of a battle with the valve guides, not allowing the exhaust valves to seat, which I had to overcome, but everything's good, and I'm pleased to say that testing it with a spanner there, it's got heaps of compression, and the valve adjusters, the tappet adjusters, don't suggest that the valve seats have been recessed too deeply. I had to recut the exhaust valve seats and grind the valves in. The inlets just needed grinding in, so they should have plenty of life left in them. The only thing that, a couple of little niggles, unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, I took this cylinder head up just this morning actually to my mate who does the alloy welding, and he reckons that his welding equipment might be a bit too fierce, and that rather than sort of put a run of weld over the crack, he might actually burn it away and make it larger. He was a bit not too sort of confident about doing it, so I decided, well, it's structurally quite sound. It can actually be reached in situ when the engine's in the bike, if the owner wants anyone else to have a go and just run a weld there perhaps, but it's quite minor really. It'll probably stay like that for another 50 years or so. A late find actually. I've had my doubts about this alternator stator because the wires, they always break through just where the encapsulation ends. That's the weak spot, and they've broken through there, so there's not a lot that I can do about that. It might work, but it probably wouldn't work properly or for very long. So I'm going to recommend the owner lets me fit a new one of them. And also, a late discovery was this. That is just a little bit of rotational slop in the alternator rotor, which this nut is done up tightly. It's not the nut being slack, and it's not the key or the keyway. It's the actual body of the rotor working loose on its core. And that's not going to get any better. And I actually put this little Tiger Cub here, the 1958, I actually put that away for a very long time because I thought the big end was going and I didn't have time to do the work. And years later, when I finally decided to strip the engine, I found the alternator rotor was doing just this, but a bit more aggressively. And when I put a decent rotor on it, the noise went away, the big end was fine. So these can make horrible knocky noises in an otherwise healthy engine, and like I say, that's not going to get better, so it needs to be replaced. So new stator, new rotor, and also I've yet to find anyone with a half decent primary cover. This one's got a hole in it, but that is really a sort of last minute job for either myself or the owner. The main thing is the engine is all back together, and I reckon it's going to be in very good health and very lively, and we'll have tip-top performance for a long time to come. So that's another one very nearly done.